Welcome to a fresh episode of the program Last Week in Nigeria. My name is Emmanuel Orio. How are you doing? Well, it's good to have you join us on a fresh episode of the program. What we do right here is to highlight stories that were reported by national dailies last week in Nigeria. And I want to begin with this, that feel free to drop your comments on our social media platforms using at Last Week in Nigeria. We are on TikTok, we are on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Not forgetting our WhatsApp channel. Subscribe, like, comment, and share our YouTube page at Last Week in Nigeria. We'll begin this way with the story making the headline from the front page of the Matrix newspaper. Last week in Nigeria, we woke up to the news that some agitators decided to storm Oluyole, that is Ibadan, Oyo State Secretariat in Oyo State, and that made the news as Yoruba agitators, they claim to be anyway, brought about a scenario that had to lead to the intervention of the security agencies. And at the end of the day, about 20 of them were arrested. When they were arrested, they had their turn to say all manner of things they wanted to say, and they were proud of what they did. As a matter of fact, one of them was quoted to have said, no regrets for what he did because he wants Yoruba Nation at all costs. The way the Matrix newspaper puts it, panic as Yoruba Nation agitators invade Oyo Secretariat. Above the nameplate of the newspaper, we have this one: NIMC banks to issue new GMPC national identity card to applicants. Well, from the Punch newspaper, we also got this one. Above the nameplates, Yoruba Nation agitators storm Oyo government house in army camouflage. Below the nameplate of the Sunday Punch, as reported, we have this one. It says, Labour submits 615,000 naira minimum wage demand in a fresh proposal. Let's find out what will be the position of the government concerning this. 615,000 naira as the minimum wage, or the living wage, the way you want to put it. Well, let's see how that goes. The Guardian newspaper has this one: Nigeria's debt servicing may rise by 48.38% as budget faces distortions. That's the way the Guardian newspaper puts it. Front page of the Sunday Vanguard newspaper. Commotion in Ibadan. Yoruba Nation gunmen try to seize Oyo Governor's office and State Assembly. And of course, we have the big story from the entertainment industry that came out last week also, as popular Bobrisky was jailed 6 months without an option of fine. Well, so sad, but we hope that will serve as deterrent for those who are abusing Naira. And of course, same last week, we also heard that popular Cubana chief priest was also talking to security agencies concerning the same issue. Now, it appears they're using the celebrities as scapegoats in this case, or they are using them to send a signal to Nigerians about the mutilation of our currency. Let's see how that goes. That's about the side I have for you on the Entertainment Gist Corner. Now, let's continue with some of the stories that made the headline. We have this one. It says, bandits remove our roofs to build tents in forests. Katsina resident is speaking here, and that was reported by the Sunday Telegraph. Party leadership, North Central seek APC PDP chairmanship. The PDP is still in the news as the Nation newspaper puts this one. PDP neck, Atiku's Wike camps head for the trenches. Too short as Yoruba Nation agitators invade Oyo Secretariat. That's how the Nigerian Tribune for the Sunday episode puts it. And above the nameplate, we have this one: 17 killed, homes burnt in midnight attacks on Plateau communities. And for Ondo Guba and the primaries loading for the APC, the PDP, and all the political parties participating in the November 2024 election that is upcoming, we have it this way: APC panel clears Ayedatiwa, Jimo Ibrahim, okay. 13 others last week for the primaries, as reported by the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian News Direct, we have this one. It says, Defense Minister slams Northern elders, describe forum as political burden. Amid outcry, Tinubu navigates IMF advice on petrol power subsidies. That's how the leadership on Sunday puts it. On the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the kidnapping of Chibok girls, as reported by the national dailies last week in Nigeria, here is a comment coming from stakeholders saying that Chibok girls, Nigeria government still paying lip service to insecurity 10 years after. That was reported by most newspapers last week in Nigeria. And for some sporting gist, we have this one. Onyeka opens PL goal account. That was on the front page of the Sporting Sun, reported last week in Nigeria. Onuachu gives up on Premier League dream. Boniface on the verge of making Bundesliga history. That was reported last week in Nigeria. Chelsea don't need Osimhen. Wow. Sporting Sun has that one. Now, 10th anniversary, this day newspaper says, at 10th anniversary, CAN demands release of remaining Chibok schoolgirls. That's on the front page of this day newspaper, as reported last week in Nigeria. And above the nameplate, we have this one. It says, in groundbreaking report, Goldman Sachs predicts Nigeria to become the 5th world largest economy by 2075. What a projection there. The Punch newspaper has this one. Recapitalization raise. Top banks target $3 billion US fund in foreign capital markets. That's on the front page of the Punch newspaper, and that was reported last week in Nigeria. The New Telegraph has this one. Humanitarian Ministry probe. We have not cleared anybody, says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. It's on the New Telegraph newspaper. This invasion of Oyo Secretariat, tight security in Osun, Ekiti, Kwara, Ondo, and Ogun. That's the way the Nigerian Tribune captions it. The Daily Independent has this one. Oil production shortfall may threaten Naira recovery, says experts. Sticky prices, poor control upsets consumers despite stronger Naira. That's the way the Guardian newspaper has this one, and it was reported last week in Nigeria. Nigeria big bank take lead in hunt for new capital. The Business Day has that one on the front page. And this one concerning the tariff hike. TCN discos Bika over failing 20 hours supply of electricity. That's on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The Daily Sun has this one. PDP chair Wike camp pushes for Damangu against Suzwan and Abu. Another sporting gist that we have for you from the Sporting Sun. It says Boniface scores, makes history in the league of the Bundesliga. And we also have this one as Leverkusen's win Bundesliga. That was reported last week in Nigeria. Our guys are making Nigeria proud outside the shores of this nation. Published loan agreements obtained since 1999. Serap urges Tinubu. That was reported on the front page of the Daily Times newspaper last week in Nigeria. We uncovered more fraud in humanitarian ministry, says EFCC. That's on the front page of the Daily Trust. And of course, the good news, so to speak, came from the economy as Naira hits 1,000 Naira to $1. How good is that news? Well, I leave that to you to decide if you're excited about that kind of development. But we hope that things will get better. On that note, we draw an end to this episode of the program at Last Week in Nigeria. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles at Last Week in Nigeria. We are on TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course, don't forget our WhatsApp channel, www.lastweekinnigeria.com. For more, subscribe, share, and turn on the notification bell on our YouTube channel to get subsequent episodes of the program at Last Week in Nigeria. And don't forget too that you can place your advertisements on this program. We reach out to the world for you in one breath. On behalf of the entire production team from here, my name is Emmanuel Oriowo, asking you to kindly join me on a fresh episode next week. Until then, bye for now.